I'm Jace Lacob, and you're listening to Masterpiece Studio. In Season 5 of Miss Scarlet, Scotland Yard welcomed the hardworking and well-respected Detective Inspector Alexander Blake. Despite Eliza Scarlet's best efforts to foster a professional relationship with Blake, the two got off to a rocky start. Over the course of the season, their brief moments of closeness were inevitably marred by tension, but by the end of the season, Blake invited Eliza into his home. Fast forward to Season 6, and the pair is getting along quite well.
We need to be careful. You cannot simply kiss me in the middle of my hallway, Alexander.
You didn't seem to mind.
That's right, Eliza Scarlet and Alexander Blake are an item, unofficially. While they've shared their feelings for each other in private, their romance is still very much a secret. They must tread carefully as their love life could spell disaster for their work life.
Eliza, I have offered you 3 cases in the past fortnight, all of which you've turned down.
I've been extremely busy.
How does Clarence feel about you turning down work?
He feels the pain every bit as much as I do.
You didn't tell him, did you?
The truth is, I'm worried what it would be like working together now.
As do I. But there's only one way to find out.
Yes, but I've never been in this situation before. I don't want anything to ruin it.
Eliza struggles to find the equilibrium between her and Blake personally and professionally. She knows things cannot go on forever as they are, especially as those close to Eliza begin to question her peculiar actions as of late. In an effort to appease Clarence, and perhaps to keep the lights on, Eliza agrees to a case offered by Scotland Yard.
An urgent request from Scotland Yard. That's welcome news indeed. Shall I get you a cab?
Not yet, I'm thinking.
May I point out that you've been reading the same telegram for almost 10 minutes now?
What if another case comes in, something bigger, more lucrative?
I don't understand.
Well, it's a fairly simple concept.
I don't understand because that's literally never bothered you before. Am I missing something or...?
Fine. I'll go.
Today, we're joined by Miss Scarlet star Kate Phillips to discuss her character's new relationship with Alexander Blake, how she balances the professional with the private, and the high stakes for keeping this relationship hidden from prying eyes. And this week, we are joined by Miss Scarlet star Kate Phillips. Welcome.
Hello.
So, Season 5 of Miss Scarlet ends with the possibility of romance or friendship between Eliza and Alexander as he invites her inside his house. When we pick back up, however, they're not tiptoeing around. They're a couple. How surprised were you to discover that Rachel New had ended the will they, won't they by saying they are?
I was very excited to discover. But in true Rachel New form, it's revealed in a very delightfully Miss Scarlet-y way, in that you think they're having an argument, but then it turns out it's just a lover's, like a role-playing moment, and it's just very cute. And I think we were both thrilled because that last scene at the end of Season 5 was really fun to play. We both kind of enjoyed the rom-com element of it. It was giving kind of like 90s rom-com vibes, and we really were very pleased to lean into it. So there's a lot of that going on in Season 6.
90s rom-com vibes, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked to discover that we jumped ahead of those sort of initial first courtship steps into full-fledged coupledom. How did Rachel pitch this twist to you ahead of production?
What tends to happen is that kind of the scripts come my way. Like, there's always chats and everyone's open to conversations about it. But Rachel's an expert at what she does, and I get the scripts really early on, and I'm just very thrilled to be welcomed in as early as I am. But I'm just a very happy bystander. You know, I read it like a fan, and then I learn my lines. I guess we do skip the very sort of early bits of that relationship. However, they're still in that sort of falling deeply in love stage where perhaps at certain times you're seeing your partner through tinted lenses. And what maybe comes up over the course of the series is a sort of like, oh, do I really know this person? I've only really known them for a short period. Hold on a second. Who is this person? You know, so there's that classic early relationship bumps in the road stuff that you encounter, or you can encounter at times.
Let's talk about that bubble then, because they very much are in this bubble. They're away from the prying eyes of their friends and colleagues. Why does Eliza believe it's essential to keep their relationship a secret, even from Ivy and Barnabas, who are living under Eliza's roof at this point?
Well, as you say, they're having a great time, but without the rest of the world looking in and having their own opinions or maybe frowning upon their relationship because it's going to compromise Eliza's business, for example, Clarence. So I think she's having a lovely time and she doesn't want anyone else to ruin it. And I think we can all understand that.
We can understand that. We get that. I mean, she's pretty forthright about it. She says,
I just want to stay in this bubble forever. No one else knowing or interfering. Things are perfect as they are.
for Eliza, knowing and interfering are her two biggest MOs. Is this Eliza protecting the preciousness of this fantasy from the harsh reality of expectations or obligations? What is she sort of afraid of then?
Well, she's not living in the real world, is she? I think she's come a long way from season one, and where she hasn't, up until this moment, been able to even consider having a relationship where she could perhaps have a better, healthier work-life balance, where she's actually been able to prioritize or give space to another person that hasn't been Ivy. And she's now finally created a space in her life where she's able to do that, and with someone with whom she knows that it could potentially be difficult for her work, which has always been her number one priority up until this point. She's done really well so far. So I think she's just terrified because things are going really well, and I just don't think she wants to ruin it. And up until this point in her life, things tend to go south. They don't stay good for too long. So yeah, in her experience, staying in the bubble is probably the safest place.
I mean, I think at the same time she's embarking on this romantic adventure with Blake, her status quo has been disrupted at home. Barnabas Potts has been fired. He's wandering around Eliza's house. Ivy's at the clerical office of Scotland Yard. Things are just sort of messed up at the moment and a bit chaotic. Does that add to the need to keep this lid tightly on her relationship with Alexander, to keep the peace at home a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that her life is always pretty chaotic, and I can't imagine how easy it is to have a Barnabas living in her home is probably a bit tricky. So just having a little somewhere to escape where she doesn't have to put that in the mix is probably a bit of a relief.
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, one of the things I love most about this is that Eliza and Blake are investigators. Their job is to uncover secrets and bring the truth into the light. But here they are attempting to conceal this secret. Does that need for secrecy bring them even closer together?
Yes, of course. Well, it's delicious, isn't it, when you share a secret with someone? We've all been there at the beginning of a relationship where you are the only people in the world that know this is happening. And it's very bonding. But it's not sustainable, as we are soon to discover. You've got to find a way to weave in, those sort of lovely, personal, lovely things with the realities of life and try and find a healthy balance. Blake's daughter doesn't know about their relationship, and that's, they've got to be really careful with that because the emotional stability of a young girl is sort of at risk there. So, there's a lot going on. There's a lot at stake. Eliza's work, Blake's work, I think Ivy's probably be over the moon to discover that she's fallen in love. But even that would be an interference that I think that Eliza just wouldn't really want to have to deal with. The overbearing mother.
She's still determined and focused on her work, but at the start of Series 6, there is a new lightness and happiness to Eliza that we don't ordinarily get to see for her character. What was it like getting to play these facets of Eliza's character to allow her to relax a little bit, to enjoy herself a little bit here?
It was a total joy. I mean, I've been with her for 6 seasons now, and, in some ways she is a little bit of me. And to be able to step into a mind of this young woman who has been so, at first, grief-stricken, so challenged, so alone, so heartbroken. And then to have at least one element of her life, there's this real sense of clarity and stability, and she just seems so much more grounded. And I was just really proud of her that she's been able to just get a better balance in her life. And Blake's really good for her. I think he really cares for her, and it's just very sweet.
It is very sweet. I love their dynamic. Series 5 found them on a tentative footing with each other, and there was a newness to their working relationship and a romantic tension to their personal one. With Series 6, how has it been working with Tom Durant-Pritchard to showcase a couple who have gotten together romantically, but now also have to work together as well?
Yeah, so obviously they've taken a step forward in their relationship. They're more comfortable with each other. There's a kind of open mutual, is there a love, an admiration of fondness? But again, they're still very much at the early stages, and I think they've maybe don't know everything about each other, or sometimes the reality kicks in and there's still a little bit of tension, and they definitely got to work through some stuff. And I think the viewers will enjoy maybe a kind of, can this still work? Eliza's a very particular woman. There's very few women like her out there in that period, and I think it's a challenge for both her and Blake to try and make this relationship work. And I think there is a moment during the series where Blake has to think, can I do this? And I guess you'll sort of see whether he can overcome that.
Mm. He says to Eliza in episode 1,
You're so intent on keeping our relationship secret that you're in danger of broadcasting the very thing you're trying to conceal.
and Clarence is immediately suspicious that something has occurred. He thinks Eliza maybe insulted Blake in some way.
Usually in such lean times, you'd be accusing Scotland Yard of employing an alternative agency. Usually, you'd be on your feet and out the door to talk to the inspector.
Can you
Usually...
please stop saying usually?
This is about you and Inspector Blake, isn't it?
I have no idea what you mean.
Oh, I think you do. You have offended him in some way and he's refusing to employ you.
Yes, your powers of deduction still need honing, Clarence. I can assure you Inspector Blake and I are on the best of terms, professionally speaking. Now, can you please drop that odd-looking frown? It's very disconcerting.
And I love an Eliza Clarence scene. They are some of my favorites in the series. What do you make of Eliza and Clarence's dynamic in Series 6?
It's just really silly and very playful. And I mean, with every one of Eliza's relationships, there is a kind of friendly sparring. And it just happens in slightly different ways with each character. With Ivy, it's this kind of surrogate mother-daughter sparring. With Moses, there's always a kind of brother-sister dynamic going on. Similarly with Nash, and with Clarence, I don't know how to describe it, but it's whatever it is, it's very fun. It's very fun working with Paul. And I mean, he's so neurotic. Not Paul, of course, but Clarence. But what amuses me is that she finds him so tedious. But in the same way, she can be so tedious about things that she finds interesting. And I do. It's just so silly. The two of them are so like each other, but they don't realize.
We're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. And when we return, more from actor Kate Phillips. Ocean voyages, expeditions, river journeys. Viking is dedicated to bringing travelers closer to the destination, offering a small ship experience and a shore excursion in every port. Learn more at Viking.com. And we're back with Miss Scarlet star Kate Phillips. Love hasn't dulled Eliza's spark or her drive. In episode 1, she drugs 8 men and obtains a priceless artifact, returning it to the British Museum. And she downplays the risk with her trademark wit. A little laudanum never hurt anyone, Inspector Blake. How much do you continue to relish that banter that we're talking about within these scripts?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. More of it. I remember, sort of reflect on the growth of that character over the seasons. And I remember watching series 1 back. I always find it quite interesting because it was, having watched season 1, I really appreciated like what works for the comedy, and sort of like leaning into and enjoying those little dynamics where that's the kind of heart of the show, the kind of twinkle. So yeah, I just really enjoy doing it. And, each actor and each character brings out so many different sort of nuances and dynamics to that sparring, and it's just really fun.
Eliza tells Blake,
Alexander, when we're working together, it's best that you treat me as you would one of your men. You can be polite in our private time.
and yet Eliza seems flustered on their first professional engagement since becoming a couple. Given their new intimacy, is it possible that she can't treat him the same way anymore?
I mean, I think she's completely overwhelmed. She's never been in a relationship before, and I don't think she quite knows how to do it. I mean, watching Eliza struggle is one of the fun elements to the show. She's so composed and so capable in so many other areas of her life, but it's always been in her romantic life that she just kind of falls flat on her face. And I think it is quite amusing to watch her overcome those challenges.
She says she's going to back out of the case. She says,
I made myself look an idiot.
You're overreacting.
Do you have any idea how hard it's been for me to build my reputation, only to act like some damsel in distress? I even called you Alexander.
Detective Willows won't care. He'll put it down to you being scared witless, which, by the way, is allowed since you are a mere mortal like the rest of us.
Tying myself in knots, thinking, what should I say? What should I do? How would I behave if I were a normal detective?
And exactly were you normal?
is this a case of Eliza not being able to have it all in a way that Blake, as a working man, can't possibly understand?
I think you're right. I think for sure the risks are greater for her. I mean, she runs her own business. She hasn't got the stability or he works for Scotland Yard. He works for an organization. Eliza is self-employed. She doesn't have anyone to fall back onto. She's out there fighting for her livelihood, of which she has been fighting for as long as we've known her. And the risks for her are far, far, far greater. There's no question. And that's, I think, what we just really love about her, is that she's just sort of endlessly hustling for her survival. I would, though, argue that she could have been a bit cooler. She didn't necessarily need to lose her cool as much as she did. But again, perhaps that speaks to the fact that she's just so overwrought by how high the stakes are for her in comparison to him. But we've seen her keep her cool in the past. So I feel like she just needs to get a grip, I think. She's okay.
She's in the throes of a new romance. There's a lot going on. But then she finds her cool, collected self again.
Yeah, she finds that she rebalances.
So episode 1 ends with Eliza, after Blake tells her to confide in someone other than him, finally telling Ivy about her relationship. She says,
Ivy, there's something that I need to tell you about myself and Inspector Blake.
I'm listening.
Well, he's coming to dinner, so we need to set an extra place.
And
we are currently enjoying a quiet, very private courtship.
goodness me, I had no idea.
You're a terrible liar.
And you shouldn't have kept it from me.
And you shouldn't be listening at doors.
And Ivy already knew, of course, but that doesn't dull her excitement. Does telling Ivy puncture the bubble for Eliza, or does it end up inviting more joy into her life?
I feel like it just invites more joy. It just kind of enriches that relationship. I think perhaps the reason why she didn't instinctively bring Ivy in is that fear that when other people find out about it, it does burst the bubble and suddenly the magic is lost. But what she discovers, that it just goes to make the relationship better and more fulfilling. And so he was right for her that she should tell Ivy all along.
I mean, the fact he tells her, when you stop trying to control your life, that's where true freedom comes from. And I think this is an act of freeing herself from her own expectations and from self-control and allowing others in, even if it's Ivy, to share in the sort of happiness that she's experiencing.
I think we all can recognize that in ourselves. It's difficult to let people in sometimes, and making space for other people's joy and expectation of your own successes and stuff. And it can be hard. So I get the challenge. I get what the challenge is for her, but it's great to watch her overcome those challenges.
Love it. Kate Phillips, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Next time, Eliza and Blake set some parameters for their relationship to keep their work and their romance separate. But no matter how hard they try, work manages to creep in.
Do you have dinner plans this week?
No, nothing as yet.
I was thinking there's a nice little bistro south of the river. We could go there for dinner one night.
I'd like that. We can discuss the Lewis case. Or perhaps we could talk about it now.
Next week, we're joined by Detective Inspector Alexander Blake himself, actor Tom Durant-Pritchard, to discuss Blake's side of the relationship, as well as the new additions to Scotland Yard. Masterpiece Studio is hosted by me, Jay Slay Cobb, produced by Jack Pombriant, and edited by Robin Bissett. Alicia Etup is our sound designer. The executive producer for Masterpiece is Suzanne Simpson.